Hello. Welcome to our story time. Today, I want to tell you a simple and beautiful story. It is a story about the biggest holiday in many Asian countries. It is called the Lunar New Year. In Vietnam, we call it Tet. It was a cold Friday afternoon. The wind was blowing softly through the trees in a small house. In a small, cozy house, a young girl named Anne was helping her grandmother. They were busy. They were very busy because the new year was coming in 2 days. The house smelled like sweet flowers and warm tea. Anne looked at the front door. There were many bright red decorations on the wall. Everything in the house was turning red. Anne turned to her grandmother and asked, "Grandma, why do we use so much red? Why is the new year so loud and bright?" Grandmother smiled. Her eyes were kind. She put down a branch of pink blossoms and looked at Anne. "Sit down, my dear," Grandmother said softly. "The Lunar New Year is a time for family. It is a time for joy. But a long time ago, it was very different. People were not happy. They were afraid." Anne sat on the floor. She was very quiet. She looked at the red paper in her hands. She felt a little bit of mystery in the air. Something was strange about this holiday history. Grandmother leaned closer and whispered, "Long ago, something lived in the dark shadows. And that is why we need the color red." Anne held her breath. She did not know that a simple color could save a whole village. Before we continue our story, welcome to the English Oasis. This is your quiet place to relax. If you love calm stories like this one, please subscribe and join our little oasis. Now, let's see what happened in that small village. Grandmother started her story. Anne listened carefully. Many years ago, Grandmother said, there was a small village near a high, dark mountain. The people were simple farmers. They worked hard in the fields. They grew rice and kept animals like cows and chickens. Life was usually quiet. In the spring, the flowers opened. In the summer, the sun was hot. In the autumn, the leaves fell. But every year, when winter arrived, the people became very quiet. They did not laugh or sing. Why? Because they were waiting for the end of the year. In that village, the end of the year was not a happy time. It was a scary time. Anne looked at her grandmother. Were they afraid of the cold? "Grandma?" she asked. Grandmother shook her head slowly. "No, Anne, they were not afraid of the snow. They were afraid of something else. Something lived inside the mountain. Every year, on the very last night of the year, a terrible sound came from the forest. It was a loud, hungry roar. Roar! The ground moved. The windows shook. The people called it Nian. Nian was a monster. It was very big and hungry. Every year, when the moon was thin and the night was dark, Nian came down from the mountain. It came to look for food. It took the cows and grain. And sometimes it took the people. So, On the last day of the year, the villagers did not celebrate. They did not have parties. Instead, they packed their bags. They put out their fires. Mothers held their babies tightly. Everyone prepared to run away and hide in the cold forest. The village was beautiful, but had a dark problem. No one knew how to stop the monster. Anne looked at the red decorations in her house. They looked so bright and happy. She could not imagine a new year. She felt a little bit sad for the people in the story. Did they always have to run away? Anne asked. Grandmother looked at the clock. For a long time, yes. But one year, the monster was very close. And this time, a very old man was walking toward the village. But this quiet discomfort was about to become something much heavier. The wind started to blow harder in Grandmother's story. Anne sat very still. The sun was going down, Grandmother continued. The villagers were very afraid. They were putting locks on their doors. Some people were running to the mountains to hide. They cried, "Hurry! The monster is coming! Nian is coming!" Suddenly, an old man walked into the center of the village. He was very old. His hair was white. He carried a small walking stick and a simple cloth bag. He looked at the people. He saw their tired faces and their shaking hands. The old man stopped. He stopped a young woman. "Excuse me," he said. "I am hungry. Can I have some food? Can I stay in your house tonight?" The woman looked at him. "No. You must run. The monster comes tonight. It destroys everything. It eats everything. We are leaving now." The old man did not move. He did not look afraid. He went to another house, and then another. But everyone said the same thing. "Go away. Save yourself. We have no time to help you." And frowned. She thought, "Why are they so mean? The old man is hungry." She felt sorry for him. Finally, one old woman stayed behind. She saw the old man. She was kind. She gave him a bowl of warm rice. She said, "Old man, you can stay in my house. But please, be careful. The monster is dangerous. It has teeth like knives." The old man smiled. It was a strange, happy smile. He said, "Do not worry, my friend. I have a secret. I can make the monster go away, but I need your help. Will you help me, or will you run away like the others?" The kind woman looked back. She heard the monster's roar. It was very close now. She had to choose. Run to the forest, or stay with the stranger. She took a deep breath. She decided to stay. "I will stay," she said. The old man opened his bag. "Good," he said. "Now, we must work fast. Give me some red paper. Give me some bamboo. We have a lot to do before the moon rises." He thought he still had time to fix things. He was wrong. The monster was already at the gates of the village. The sky was now completely black. There were no stars. There was no moon. The village was silent. Everyone was gone, except for the kind woman and the mysterious old man. Inside the woman's house, the old man was busy. He looked like a teacher now. He took the red paper and started to stick it on the door. "Why red, old man?" the woman asked. Her voice was shaking. "Wait and see," he replied. He put red paper on the windows. He put red paper on the gates. Then he put candles everywhere. The house was glowing like a red sun. Suddenly, a cold wind blew down from the mountain. Whoosh! The smell of the monster was in the air. It smelled like old bones and wet earth. Thump, thump, thump. The ground began to shake. The monster Nian was walking into the village. It was bigger than an elephant. It had one sharp horn. It had eyes that burned like green fire. Nian saw the houses were empty. It was angry. It wanted to eat. Then Nian stopped. It saw the house. It saw the bright red paper. The monster pulled back. It made a strange sound. Not a roar, but a cry of pain. It hated the red color. It hurt its eyes. Nian became very angry. It opened its mouth wide to attack the house. "Now?" the old man shouted. He threw bamboo into the fire. Pop! Bang! Crack! The bamboo exploded with a very loud noise. It sounded like thunder. Nian jumped back. It was terrified. The bright red light was too much. The loud bang sounds were too much for the beast. It began to shake with fear. The kind woman watched from the window. She realized it was not invincible. It was afraid of simple things. She felt her fear leave her body. She felt strong. She knew they could win, but the monster was not gone yet. It turned around and looked at the house one more time. It was preparing for one final, hungry jump. By the time the sun went down, everything changed. The monster Nian stood in the street. It was ready to jump. Its claws were sharp, and its eyes were angry. But the old man was not finished. "Now," he cried again, "everyone, come out." Suddenly, the doors of the other houses opened. The villagers were not in the forest anymore. They had heard the loud bang. They saw the bright red light. They realized the old man was right. The people ran into the street. They were not carrying bags to run away. They were carrying drums, bells, and metal pots. Clang! Clang! Boom! They hit the pots. They beat the drums. They shouted with loud voices, "Go away, Nian!" The sound was like a giant storm. Nian was very confused. The red paper hurt its eyes. The fire burned its skin. And the noise was like thunder. The monster took one step back. Then another step. It was shaking. The brave villagers moved closer. They did not stop. They hit their drums harder. Boom! Nian turned its head. It could not stay in this bright, loud place. It let out one final, sad cry. Then it turned around and ran. It ran past the houses. It ran across the fields. It ran all the way back to the dark mountain. The villagers did not stop until it disappeared. They stood together in the cold night air. For the first time in many years, they were not afraid. They looked at each other and smiled. "We did it!" A young boy shouted. "The monster is gone!" The people were tired, but they were very happy. They spent the rest of the night talking. They shared their food. They stayed awake to see the sun rise. When the first light touched the village, everything looked new. Everything looked beautiful. They had won the first battle, but they knew they must remember this lesson every year. And still, the hardest part of his journey was waiting. Grandmother stopped talking for a moment. She took a sip of her warm tea and sat very still. She could almost hear the drums in her head. "So, Grandma," Anne said softly, "is that why we have fireworks today? Is that why we wear red clothes?" Grandmother nodded. "Yes, my dear, the monster is gone, but we still remember. But today, the new year is not just about a monster. It is about something much more important." Grandmother pointed to the window. Outside, the streets were full of life. It was the climax of the year, the busiest day. People were rushing to the flower market for blossoms. "Look at the people," and Grandmother said, "they are cleaning their houses. They are washing their clothes. Why do they do this?" And thought for a moment. To be clean for the guests? Yes, Grandmother smiled, but also to sweep away the bad luck of the old year. We clean floors to make room. We cook special food like ban chung or sweet cakes to show we are thankful. We want the house to be perfect. Anne looked around their room. She saw the red envelopes on the table. She saw her father and mother in the kitchen. They were laughing and preparing a big dinner together. In this moment, Anne realized that the climax of the new year was not a battle with a monster. It was a battle against being lonely. The biggest decision was not about running away. It was about coming home. In the old story, the people stayed together to be safe, Grandmother said. Today, we stay together to be happy. That is the real magic of the Lunar New Year. Anne felt a warm feeling in her heart. She looked at her family and felt very lucky. She wanted to say something important, but she saw her grandmother's eyes shining with a secret. "Wait, Anne," Grandmother whispered. "There is one more thing you must know about the red envelopes." Anne leaned in. She knew the most emotional part was coming. Grandmother picked up a small red envelope from the table. It was beautiful, with gold letters on the front. In the old story, Grandmother said, the red paper on the doors protected the house. But the old man gave the children something special, too. He gave them red pouches with gold coins inside. Anne looked at the envelope in Grandmother's hand. Was it for the monster, too? Yes, Grandmother nodded. The monster, Nian, liked to scare children while they were sleeping. But the sound of the gold coins and the bright red colour of the pouch kept the monster away. It protected the children so they could sleep. Anne touched the red paper. It felt smooth and warm. She realized that these little red envelopes were not just about money. They were like a shield. But here is the secret. Anne, grandmother whispered. The monster Nian is not a real animal anymore. Today, the monster is the time that passes too fast. The monster is being too busy to see the people we love. Anne looked at her grandmother's white hair and her wrinkled, kind hands. She understood. The red envelope was a way to say, I love you. I want you to be safe. I want you to have a good life. The story world of the monster and the real world of Anne's family became one. The wrong choice in the old days was to hide alone. The right choice today was to open the door and sit together. The house was now quiet and peaceful. The sun was setting in the sky. The first day of the new year was almost here. Anne was no longer afraid of monsters or the dark. She felt strong. She felt loved. The legend of Nian was a story of fear, but it ended with a beautiful image. A family sitting together under a red lamp, sharing a meal. The history of the Lunar New Year was not just about the past. It was about right now. Let's look at the story again. Long ago, there was a small village. The people were happy, but they had a problem. Every year, a monster named Nian came to the village. Nian was big, loud, and hungry. The people were very afraid. They ran away to the mountains to hide. One year, an old man came. He was a stranger. He told a kind woman, I can help you. I know a secret. The old man and the woman stayed in the village. The old man put red paper on the doors and windows. He made a big fire. When the monster Nian came, the old man threw bamboo. Pop! Bang! It was very loud. Nian saw the red colour. Nian heard the loud noise. The monster was terrified. It turned around and ran away. The villagers were so happy. They celebrated all night. Today, we still follow these traditions. We wear red clothes. We use fireworks. We give red envelopes to children. We do these things to sweep away bad luck and welcome good luck. Most importantly, it is a time for family. We come home. We eat together. We love each other. That is the true history and the beautiful present of the Lunar New Year. My name is Anne, and I love the Lunar New Year. This year, something was different. While helping my grandmother, I learned a secret of traditions. I saw the red paper and asked, why? I listened to my grandmother's voice. She told me about a giant monster named Nian. I felt scared. I imagined the poor villagers running away to the dark mountains. I thought, I am so lucky to be in my warm house. I learned about bravery. A brave stranger saved the village. He used the colour red and loud noises to scare the monster. I felt happy when the monster ran away. Now, when I look at my red envelope, I don't just see money. I see a shield. I feel the love of my family. I realize that my grandmother's stories are like a bridge. They connect the past to my life today. I saw my parents cooking in the kitchen. I saw the flowers opening. I felt very peaceful. I learned that the best way to be brave is to stay together with the people you love. This is my favorite holiday, and now I know why. The night is now quiet. Outside, the stars are shining, and the red lanterns are glowing. Our story is finished, but the feeling of the Lunar New Year stays with us. Remember, stories are not just about monsters or magic. They are about how we live our lives today. We use red to be brave, and we come home to be happy. We have a choice. We can run away in fear, or we can stay together and build something beautiful. Here is a simple thought. The greatest luck is family. I hope this story helped you practice your English and made your heart feel a little warmer tonight. English is like a story. If you listen every day, you will understand more and more. If you enjoyed this story, please click the like button and subscribe. Before you go, I have a question. What is your favorite holiday tradition? Please write one sentence in English in the comments below. Thank you for listening. Practice your speaking. Listen again if you need to. And have a very wonderful day. Goodbye for now.